Hello everybody, look at this. We literally got our actor's room done. Okay, look at this. It's a disturbing amount of masks and costumes. And look at all these masks now. Is this crazy or what? It's like so many and they're everywhere. Look at that. It's like so insane. But we finally did get the actor's room pretty much done. And I wanted to mention that the actor's room is going to be open for Transworld when we do our haunt tour at Transworld, if we can get that done. Now look at this. See, it looks kind of messy here. That's only because, see, that's like a Krampus. And we opened at the Lemp tonight, and they brought everything back, and they just kind of stuck it here for now. Now, also, everybody who works at the Darkness said, yeah, we're going to have to flush the actor's room out and all that. And yes, I agree with all that. But look at that. Everything's all done. It's all set up. And here are some of the Christmas costumes. And look at the crazy Christmas tree they put in here. Upside down. Christmas tree. All the costumes. Everything. All ready to go. So, a couple things. I wanted to kind of start off in here. And I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to walk over and I'm going to show you the Alien Escape Room, because it's actually really cool, but I need to make sure I have my phone with me. It looks like I don't. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's in my back pocket. Here it is, because we're going to need a light. A couple like topics that we are going to talk about over the next couple weeks mostly is going to be about one thing: building this new haunted house from absolute scratch. But some people email me and they asked me to talk about a couple topics as I'm walking through the darkness. And we're going to walk over to, where are we walking over to? The escape room. Man, it's kind of chilly in here. Somebody asked me, whoop, I gotta walk through here. You gotta walk with me. But we're gonna go over here and look at this Alien Escape, because it's pretty damn cool. And this Alien Escape is something we've been working on now for, I don't even know how long it's been. It's been at least 6 months, at least. Let's take a look and see what's different. Is Adam in here? Adam! How's it going? So check this out. All right. Look at this. This is going to be a first. I know nobody's probably ever done this before. This is actually really smart. You see, that is a door. But this is going to be a two-way mirror. So, we were thinking how would we get in there to maintenance it if like a light went out or anything? So I actually said, so this is going to be a mirror. So I actually said, well, maybe we can just make a door where it opens, but nope, it's going to be a two-way mirror that slides open. Our team came up with that idea, and I think that's a great idea. So you'll look through there to get a clue. The door looks great. You working hard on it, Adam?
We're definitely working.
And you can see over here, we're starting. Did you already put the lights in?
No, I'll have to do that later because I have to run the wires and stuff. The lights are probably that difficult.
We're putting the
At the same
plexiglass
time,
in.
if I'm going to get all this done, I need to just put the lights in. I got 3 rooms to do.
Well, don't you have to take it apart again to put the...
Yeah, but I've bumped the screws out, so even if you paint it, we can get them out.
All right. I'll be right back. This is going to be like a TVs, and then that'll be directly underneath it. On Monday, we're going to come in here and we're going to start taking all of this junk out. And this is what the floors are going to be made of. See, like that. And then here, these are going to be CGI. CGI, CGI, CGI. And then look at how we're doing the ceiling in here. And that'll have Luana, our frosted plexiglass on it as well. And they'll light up. And it's going to be pretty fantastic. Now look at this. This is a door. But check this out. So you actually have to come into the mini golf. So we want the mini golf you to not know there's an alien door here. So that's pretty cool, I think. And then the inside of the door will be alien as well. It'll be themed. So there won't be a lock on that door. So that is the Alien Escape. That is the update on. That is the update on the. And look at the beautiful Christmas tree. That's here in St. Louis Escape. That is the update on what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks. We've been building an escape room. We've been building. We've been building the escape room, and we've been building the actor's room, and we've been cleaning out the area that had the actor's room. Now it's basically going to be a shop again. So yes, and we're running our Krampus event here at the Darkness tomorrow, and it's going to be fantastic. So anyway, the topic that I was going to talk about today, because somebody asked me if I could build the Darkness from scratch, what would I do different? It's a great question. Like, what is the difference between a haunted house that you might have built 10 years ago to if you had to start from scratch, and if you did it today, what would you do? And but before I mention that, we're getting closer and closer to January. I do want to mention that we are hoping to have that Alien Escape Room done for Transworld. We are also hoping to have our new haunted house done by Transworld. And by the way, our new haunted house is also there's going to be space to expand the gift store, and there's also going to be a secret, like speakeasy bar connected to it as well. And I don't know exactly where to put it yet, because I'm actually thinking that it might actually make sense to put it like on the back side of the retail store, and then to put a secret door, so you can kind of go into into the retail store. Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know, but I do know that I want to build a bar for VIP tickets. So that's one of the things that we want to do in 2025. As we sell VIP tickets now, which literally is just the feature of allowing you to get into the haunted house sooner. So how could we do a VIP ticket in 2025 so that we could maybe grow the attendance of the darkness? And there goes that fan. But people wanted me to do a video on what would I do differently at the darkness than I would do now. And you know, when you really think about it, they're one and the same, really. Because I am a firm believer now, and I really have learned this from doing these escape rooms. And I think people, when they built escape rooms, initially they thought they were all about puzzles. And it's always funny when people come to your escape rooms and they say, well, you know, the rooms are really well themed, but some of your puzzles don't make sense or whatever. And then, you know, you find out they do $25,000 a month and we do $125,000 a month. You know, it's like, because escape rooms, in my opinion, are about experiences. People want to have an experience. If you tell them that you're going to Jurassic Island, they want to feel like that's exactly where they went, was Jurassic Island. So I don't think it's about puzzles. I think puzzles is a big part of it, but I also think experience is a big part of it. I think it's the most important part of it. So you want to create with your escape room the theming and the experience. Like, okay, if I'm going to Dracula's castle, I want to feel like I'm actually there. I think that's the key to having successful escape rooms. Now, when it comes to having a successful haunted house, I'm actually, struggled a little bit here at the darkness. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, it's in the city. Not as many people want to come to the city. So I think I have to go above and beyond. I've got to really shake it up to give me something to market to where hey, that's a must-see event. I can tell you something that's kind of gotten big, and I know it's big in Chicago. There's this attraction there called Jack's Bar, and it's just an outdoor photo opportunity everywhere. They have animations from that they bought from the shows. They have lights. They have bars everywhere, and it's all about photo ops everywhere you go. So photos, buy a drink, photos, buy a drink, photos, buy a drink, with food trucks. And when you think about these things are making more money than a haunted house, that makes you go, by the way, there used to be a band called CC Music Factory, and they had a song called Things That Make You Go, okay? And that's something that makes me go, So if I was to start the darkness over from scratch, meaning build it from scratch, what would I do different? I think about VIP tickets and how can you make a VIP ticket worth more than just, you get to cut the line and go straight in. Well, a VIP ticket, you should get something for it. We're going to print lanyards, and you're going to get a lanyard, like a collectible that you get to keep. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a something only they get to experience? And one of the things that comes to mind is if you have a big retail store, which I think is very important for any haunted house now, you could open it 30 minutes early and they get exclusive shopping in your retail store. Another thing that you can do is if you have one of these bars that we're talking about right now, wouldn't that be nice that you are allowed to go into that bar and no one else is, a secret bar, and you can get a cocktail or a drink and something, you get to experience something there. I think that would be a part of a VIP experience. I think you really got to think hey, what all can you do for this person that you wouldn't do for them otherwise? And So when you're thinking about, like, if I was rebuilding the haunted house from scratch, I think you would think about it in terms of like, well, if I have an MVP ticket, or you could call it a RIP, rest in peace, ticket, I would want to have all these extra attractions for the people who are willing to spend more money to come to your haunted house. Now, one thing I want to say is when people say, oh, there he goes again, spend more money, spend more money. Because, I just heard recently that somebody said online that our haunted houses are corporate. First off, what the hell does that even mean, corporate? I mean, like, what are you saying? It's like a McDonald's, okay? And there's like, 5 things on the menu, a hamburger, a hamburger, a hamburger, and a hamburger, okay? And, I forgot chicken nuggets. No, there's nothing corporate about our haunted house. We want our haunted house to be fantastic. We want scary actors. We want all that stuff. But I really do think that people want an experience. They want, it's like a haunted house, and the scare part is like the nacho. It's like nachos, okay? So you got the chips, and you got maybe beef on it, let's say. But people want other things on it too. They want sour cream, they want guacamole, they want salsa, they want cheese, they might want pico, okay? And you're starting to build like more than just nachos. Like nachos can literally be a chip and cheese, okay? But it also could be much more than that. And so I think, in other words, you can have a haunted house and you can have your chips and cheese, and that's the scare part, that's the haunted house. But you're also going to have the pico and the lettuce, and you can have the guacamole and the sour cream, and you can have all kinds of stuff on nachos. You can literally put anything. And so I think that's where the haunted house industry is headed. And so if I were to do my haunted house from scratch, which is essentially what I'm kind of doing as we speak, okay, because we're tearing out a big section of the end so that we can expand the gift store, build a secret bar, and have a new haunted house experience that would double up as an escape room, okay? And so, like, if I was building my haunted house from scratch, that's exactly what I would do. I wouldn't be redoing it 6 times. I'd build a haunted house with a really interesting queue line. I would make sure on the back end you have more experiences, or out front you have more experiences. Like, when you think about the haunted house industry, having outdoor actors, nobody really did that 20 years ago. Come on. But nobody did that. It was like just something that sort of started happening, where you started putting actors outside the haunt. And then they became icon actors, and there became photo opportunities, and posing with customers, not trying to scare them, but posing with them for photos, putting life-size monsters out. And when you look at a haunt like Dent Schoolhouse, they have this whole queue line that you go through that looks like a haunted carnival, like in Salem, Massachusetts. And then out back they've got like a midway with a Cincinnati Haunted House Museum, which I thought was really clever. And they have mini escape rooms, and they have more photo ops, and I don't even remember all the stuff that was there. But they're not the only ones doing that. Like, a lot of people are doing that. And so I think this is what helps your haunt go to the next level. And the funny thing is, like, and I'm staying on the topic of Dent Schoolhouse, they added all this stuff on way after the fact, okay? Now, if they would have known then what they know now, they would have done that to begin with. I think that Dent probably would have thought about their haunted house sections as possible escape rooms as well. So you could utilize your haunted house as a year-round attraction. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, watch the video, the behind-the-scenes video we did of Massacre Haunted House, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He's really double-dipping. He's utilizing the whole facility, okay, in a year-round fashion, not just for special events like Krampus, but he's utilizing the facility as an escape room and a haunted house. That's really smart. I can tell you, before I ever even knew he was doing that, when I wanted to tear down TerrorVisions a couple years ago, I was also talking about trying to figure out how to wedge the escape room to that section. But then I was even thinking, well, even if I don't do that, I'll just open it. I'll build it as like a paranormal type of haunted house. And then I'll have it as a separate business, as the scariest escape room in the country kind of thing. I was even thinking of doing it then. But the way that Massacre has done it is really eye-opening. And it makes you realize, okay, that the way really successful people are doing it today is totally different than they would have done it 10 years ago. There's no two ways about it. So for me, the question is loaded because it depends on what kind of haunted house I have. Do I have an outdoor haunt? Do I have an indoor haunt? Do I have a haunted trail? There's so many different ways that you can answer this question. But I'm going to just stick with the fact that you have an indoor haunted house. With an indoor haunted house, look at this business right here, this escape room business, okay? This business is fantastic. When I first bought this building, I immediately knew the downstairs was going to be a shop, but I never thought anything than the second floor would be a haunted house. Why not? I mean, you have the darkness next door. Of course, you're going to build a haunt. And just as I was building that haunt, escape rooms became popular. So I said, well, I'll build 2 escape rooms. I didn't even know how to build escape rooms. So I just built rooms. And that's really all it was. And then we bought some puzzles and we learned the hard way. And then the escape rooms overtook parts of the haunted house, and then the haunted house was gone. And that's a perfect example. If I would have known today what I knew, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have ever built the haunted house. I never would have wasted my time. I never would have done any of those things. So, like if I'm starting from scratch with an indoor haunt, it depends on how many square feet I have too, on what I would do or what I couldn't do. But if I had 50,000 square feet, I am absolutely not building a 50,000 square foot haunted house. That is not going to happen. I'm going to take that 50,000 square feet. I'm going to build several escape rooms that can be open year round. I probably would build like a horror themed mini golf attached to the escape rooms that could be open year round. I probably would place my retail store in a position that if they're running 2 separate businesses, imagine the retail store kind of sort of being half in the space where the mini golf / escape rooms is and half in the haunted house, but they're both in the back. That would give me the ability to maybe open it year round. Maybe, who knows? But the exit of my haunted house might flow through the Family Fun Center as well, like maybe touch it so people can see it. I mean, and it would definitely have a big retail store. It would also have a lot of photo ops and a lot of cool monsters to look at. So all of these things I would do that I doing to some degree, but now I'm like literally trying to figure out how to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to connect it all into one big happy family. In other words, build onto the back of the escape room business, the building, so it touches the back of where TerrorVisions used to be, so that I can get access to that space. And see, when I get access to that space, when I build this new haunted house, it will become my 8th escape room. No, technically 9th. I will have access to the retail store. And then there's going to be that wedge in between. And so I was thinking, you know what? That could be like I could build my own Jekyll and Hyde style bar. And that could be used for my VIP experience. It could be used for private parties, for the escape rooms. It could be used for all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I would do everything different. Who wants to build something and then slowly chip away at it and realize, man, I wish I would have done it differently? Because that's what I've been doing. I've been chipping away at TerrorVisions little by little to keep expanding the gift store to a point now where I'm just removing it completely. And here's the thing. When I build it back, it's going to be smaller than TerrorVisions is now, because I'm going to be robbing some square footage to expand the gift store. I'm going to be robbing some square footage to make an access corridor so I can get like through it quicker. And I'm also going to be robbing some square footage to build like a secret bar. So yeah, how much is going to be left? It's going to be like, I don't know, 2,000 square feet. But that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to make it, the scenes are going to be smaller. The hallways are going to be tighter. And we're going to make hallways where, you know, where they're really claustrophobic and cramped. And we're going to mix it up, and it's going to be just fantastic. It's going to be small, but offer a big punch. I can tell you, when I build modular haunted houses for theme parks in the past, you know, when you're building something in 4,000 or 2,000 square feet, you try to have a lot of maze, and then the scenes are smaller. And guess what? When the scenes are smaller, they're easier to theme and build out and make look cool. So that's exactly what I plan on doing, okay? And this is a big effort. Now, how much money are we going to spend to do all this? I mean, when it's all said and done, like 1.2 million. Yeah, of course, I wish I would have known that, hey, I could get a liquor license. I didn't know I could do that. I never even thought that would be a good idea, because back then I thought, oh, don't sell alcohol to people who might assault your actors. But who thought, like, not to have, like, when you think about bars, when they're doing pop-up bars, right? Halloween pop-up bars, because this brings people in. I could have a pop-up Halloween bar, duh. I can have a Halloween costume retail store, duh. I mean, why not have everything in one spot and make more revenue? But it's not just about making more revenue, it's about making a better experience for your guests. Your guests want those experiences. It's kind of like, hey, I want to have my cake and eat it too. It's like going down a buffet. It's like, I don't know what I want to eat, so maybe I'll get a slice of pizza, I'll get a little bit of nachos, I'll get, like, you know, some chicken and rice, and you know, and then I'll have like 2 or 3 bites from 3 or 4 different desserts. That's what it's like, okay? And I think that's the way to go. And I wish I would have thought of all this sooner, because these kinds of changes take years to do. But how do you do it? You got to start somewhere. So like, if I had an indoor haunt, the first thing I would try to do, I could tell you, if my haunt was 50,000 square feet, I would try to figure out how am I going to take out about 15,000 and make the haunt smaller, and then just make it better. And then take the other square footage to add a business that could be open year round, like an escape room. I want a retail store in the back. I want lots and lots and lots of photo ops, because see, that's the other thing. We're going to take out, when you come out of the haunt and you walk through it, through the kind of like it's kind of like almost like a museum now, and then the gift store is right in front of you. I'm actually going to make it a museum. I'm going to make it an interactive one, and I'm going to have a lot of cool props to take photos of and animations that'll trigger, and people will just have a great time just in the Midway alone. And this is my next project. This is the next thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to build this new haunt, this secret bar, and then I'm going to tear out this you know, the exit of the darkness that leads to the gift store, and literally make that an experience as well. And then I'm done. I don't think I'm going to change the haunted house much. I don't think I'm going to do any of those things, because I'm going to have the ultimate Halloween experience, a little something for everybody. It gives you more to market to your guests. Now, because let's think about this right now, okay? The darkness, we can say it's an outdoor scare zone. That's one attraction, because that's how it's advertised now. You got the downstairs, the upstairs, and you'll have the new haunt, okay? The downstairs for the darkness is gothic, the upstairs is the mansion. So you can say, well, that's 2 different haunted houses. You have the outdoor scare zones, that's 3. And then you have the new haunt in the back, that's 4. And then if you have a secret bar, that's 5. And then if you have a haunted, you know, midway kind of thing, like a horror museum midway thing, that's 6. You have the retail store, that's 7. You have the mini escape, that's 8. So it's like, hey, we have 8 different Halloween experiences. I don't know if this makes sense, but that's what I wanted to talk about. And you know, I want to tell everybody that I appreciate when you leave comments, and I want to say we are now up to 14,400 followers, and all we're talking about is haunted houses for the most part. Now I do go on the road and I film some crazy attractions and I throw that up on the page because it's fun. I like going to attractions. Look at that beautiful Christmas tree. Isn't that amazing? It's really, really pretty. So that's what I think. That's what I think. And by the way, if money was the only thing that I cared about, I wouldn't even do a haunted house, to be quite honest with you. I would do a big indoor family fun center. I want to like bring this up because think about all the family fun centers in America. Let's go back to Karate Kid. Let's watch Karate Kid over. And they go to the family fun center and the mini golf's outside, and the bumper boats and all that junk's outside. Okay, all those places are closing and they've all gone all inside. You know, if they would have known that then, hell, can you imagine all the closed down grocery stores and all that kind of stuff they would have bought to build indoor family fun centers? And they would have made way more money because they would have been open in the winter. Duh. It's like, duh. Okay? And, you know, these indoor family fun centers just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They're buying Sears stores, 150,000 square feet. And Dreddy's is over 100,000 square feet. It's all indoors. The go-karts are indoors. You know, when you build, and I want you to think about this. When you build a family fun center back in the 80s, let's say, you know, it's a no-brainer. You have a teeny tiny arcade and a little bitty shed. You have bumper boats, you have go-karts that run on gas, now they run electric. You have a big old giant mini golf, and maybe have batting cages. Well, now batting cages don't make any money at all. Why? Because baseball organizations started building indoor facilities where kids train all year round indoors. They don't go to batting cages anymore. They don't make money. You know, the go-karts are now all indoors and they're electric. Like, everything has changed. And so if you're going to be in the haunted house business for the long haul, you have to like be willing to change. Even if you're like a haunted scream park, you know, just having that food trucks lined up all over the place, if you have the space for that, is like an experience. Like, hey, I want to get food. Okay, and you're not really in the food business, so it makes sense to bring in food trucks, right? And who would have thought any of us would have ever allowed cameras and influencers to come to our haunted house with cameras? I mean, we had Tampa Jay here tonight at the Limp, and he filmed our Krampus event. Who would have ever thought all these kinds of things would be a thing? You know what I mean? That you would do 10 years ago. You didn't know that. And so I think like when we think back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a haunted house owner would have said, man, I wish I would have bought hauntedhouse.com, the URL, or I wish I would have bought that URL, you know, the .com boom. These are the things you would have like been kicking yourself about. Not about, man, I didn't think about having a big old retail store. I didn't think about like maybe I could do escape rooms or mini golf or photo ops, and let these people that are making these YouTube pages, you know, when you look back on YouTube, like when it really started rolling for haunted houses, some of these people got real famous real fast because they were filming a haunted house like Universal Studios Horror Nights, and they get 50 million views. Now they don't get hardly any. Why? Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry is filming Universal Studios Horror Nights. It's not that unique now to see it on YouTube. And so some of these haunted houses that they filmed, these influencers are getting a lot of views from filming individual haunted houses. Think about it. If an influencer does really good filming your haunted house, I mean, they get a lot of views. It's probably because you have a lot of different things going on at the same location. And I think that's what people want. I can tell you this, and I'll close it out here. When you look at the farm agri-tainment industry, you got people who are doing pretty good, but then you have people who are slaying it, right? They're doing $20 million, some of these places. Well, because they keep adding on. When you go to the typical agri-tainment fall event, they've got pumpkins for sale. Okay. They've got maybe a thing you bounce on. Maybe they got like a tractor that's pulling a bunch of carts around. Okay, I mean they might have like a mini zip line. They might got some goats to pet, right? A couple photo ops here and there, some hay here and there. Okay, that's your typical place. But then you go to a place like Bankston's and he's got like, oh my God, it's insane. He's got dark rides, he's got food everywhere. He's got a whole pavilion just for like a banjo. I mean, he's got like everything, okay? That guy's doing tens of thousands, 250,000 people to be exact, while the other places might do 40,000, 50,000. It's like, hey, when you diversify, you do much better. That's the moral of the story. So, with all that being said, make sure you like and subscribe to the page. And we're really excited. We're at 14,400. It'd be nice to get to 15,000. Eventually, we want to get to 20,000. So please spread the word. It just makes you feel like you're doing something that's helping people and they appreciate it and they like it. And I don't know, it just makes you feel like, oh, okay, yeah, this is helping people. I do want to say that as we get ready to embark on taking televisions down and turning a page for the darkness, I am turning what I'm calling the last page in the book. I have a plan, and once I get these things done, I would be literally looking to say I'm done. And I could turn this over to my kids and help them as needed, and maybe just enjoy life a little bit more. And but yeah, that's my plan, is to get this done, get all of this, like this vision totally done, and then who knows where it would go from there. Because we'll make another video 10 years from now and we'll go, man, if I would have only known. And that's the story of life, right? You learn from your mistakes, you learn from your experiences, and you learn through time, okay? Things change. When the Titanic was built, that was the main way of travel. They didn't have airplanes that could fly from Europe to America. They didn't really have planes at all back in 1912. So, you relied on trains, you relied on steamships. And you know what? Steamships went out, train stations went out too, and a lot of train stations, literally were left for dead because of cars and airplanes. And then who knows what's next? Could be high-speed rail, could be underground tubes that take you from here to there. Who knows? But progress never stops. So when you're building your haunt and you're trying to get it to the next level, think about this kind of stuff. Do you need more props? Do you need more masks? Do you need more this? Do you need more that? Or do you need to rethink your whole strategy and put your time and your effort into thinking about creating an attraction for the long haul? That's all. So we do plan on doing a haunt tour as of today, and it would include Lemp, it would include Darkness, it would include our escape rooms as part of the tour. And I will tell you that the price for the behind the scene tour, I think last year it was like $150, but this year it's going to be $225. So it is going to be more, but I do still expect it to sell out the same. And I want to explain, why it's worth $225. And this isn't to just have you give me $225. This is to explain to you of why things that are worth it, you can't always be trying to nickel and dime your way through this industry. You've got to be willing to spend the money to get where you want to go. But on the price this year, it will be, I think it's going to be $225, and it's going to go up. I'm hoping to sell it out quick. But I'm going to provide dinner. number one. And we're going to do a behind the scenes tour of the Lemp, the Darkness, and I'm shutting down St. Louis Escape for an hour and a half. Now that costs you big league. So just for those 300 people that buy a ticket can roam around through our escape rooms and see the entire place, including our new alien escape. So you'll be able to see everything. You'll be able to walk through. And then after the escape room part, then we'll have a Q&A with a secret guest. It's only secret now because I don't know who it'll be. And then it'll be the Darkness with everything open. So it's a way bigger tour, way more costly, and then close down the escape room. So, but I really wanted to do the escape room because I really do care about all the haunted houses out there, and I want you to do well. So I want you to come see a very successful facility, and I want you to be able to like understand it a lot better. And I'm going to have all my escape room people here. There'll be one in each room so they can kind of explain how everything goes. So that's the plan. But right now we're going to focus on our alien, and we're going to try to get it up and running, and we're going to try to work on getting this new haunt built. So thanks for watching the video, and stay tuned because we will be making a video as soon as I get all the props down. Now we would like to sell them all to one person, and if that's not possible, once I get all the props down in the shop, we'll do a video of how much everything will cost, and then people can start to come and get it. Until then, everybody, happy holidays.